Alrighty, so today we are at Bryce Bike Park in Virginia once again. What is it, November 8th, and their bike park's still running for another week while most of the bike parks in the Northeast are closed. It's super dry and dusty out here today, and pretty excited to check this place out. I've seen a bunch of pretty big mountain bike YouTubers ride this place, and it's not too big of a hill. It's like 350 or 400 feet, but looks to have a lot of wooden features, as you can see right there. So I think we're gonna get shreddy. Don't you think, Ryan?
Absolutely.
Epic. For our last day riding in Virginia, Ryan and I headed less than an hour north to Bryce Bike Park for one of its last weeks of the season. Bryce Bike Park is a smaller mountain that has only been around for 10 years, but has seen a pretty big boost in popularity with YouTubers like Phil Kmetz and BKXC visiting this little bike park. It gave me very similar vibes to Greek Peak in Cortland, New York, both in terms of terrain and how the trails are laid out on the hillside. We ended up riding every trail except for Hooch, which was too big for our britches. However, for the sake of this video, we're going to stick to our 4 favorite trails from the park: Old Fashioned, Screwdriver to Car Bomb, and Pickleback. This late in the season, some of the trails were in really rough shape, like Dark and Stormy and Gin and Juice, so we didn't end up repeating those the whole day. They were a one and done, unfortunately. To start off, Old Fashioned is a super fast roller coaster of a blue flow trail. It has some of the longest swooping berms I've ever seen. Old Fashioned is a mile long and is a full top to bottom run, so it was a great way to get up to speed without any major jumps. The bottom section has a pretty different taste to it, with it being flatter as you get close to the resort parking lot, but you can still carry great flow through the last few rollers. You just might need to throw in a couple pedals if you're trying to get air off them. Up next is Pickleback, which is the only double black trail we rode, and it is absolutely jam-packed with wooden features. It even has a wall ride jump, but we opted for the standard tabletop as we headed towards this sweet wooden drop to a huge step up. That we both cased. Oh. That step up is absolutely massive. I can't even imagine clearing it anytime soon. After you get shot down the hill into the wooden toilet bowl feature that takes you into a quick Rudy section before blasting down to the bottom for a couple more jumps and drops. Pickleback is definitely one of the gems of Bryce, and probably one of the more unique bike park trails I've experienced so far. But of course, we've saved the drama for last. On our last run of the day and the entire trip, we take a lap down Screwdriver to Car Bomb. Screwdriver is fairly flat up top with some really great berms until you cut over to Car Bomb, where things get a little spicier. Eventually you shoot down under a wooden bridge feature and into a small step-up jump that we had done a couple of times already. Unfortunately, this time would be a little different. So basically, Ryan told me he was sticking to the right side of the trail to maintain enough speed to clear this step up, and I was in agreement, since I was having a little trouble fully clearing it going down the middle of the chute because it had some braking bumps and divots. On this run, I followed Ryan's line, and just as I took off the lip, I could feel my front tire washing out, and before I knew it, I was dead sailoring and flinging my leg out to catch myself. I slammed my right foot down and immediately thought I injured my ankle, but it turned out to be fine. However, the tumble ended up fracturing my 8th rib on my left side, and I cut up my left shin, elbow, and shoulder pretty good. Jeez Louise. As Ryan takes us down the rest of the way, it was strange because I didn't feel my rib much until 2 days later. There was no bruising, but I sat up in bed weird one day and it became more noticeable with every breath. So a visit to the urgent care revealed I had in fact fractured it. Sucks to have ended this way, but I guess I was lucky it ended up being our very last run of the trip anyway. Alright folks, that is all for our Virginia trip. Unfortunately ended it off with some bloodshed. But overall, it was pretty epic at Bryce Bike Park. Very dry, but I think Harold approves.